he's waiting on a thing. This is what the problem was. And we do have a bass player that's joining us. He's going to do this out of nowhere. What I would like to point out, though, is that the Naked Orchestra is primarily about the facets that have to do with improvisation, and so we have no problem doing that end of this for you now, which means we're going to do a slightly different repertoire than what the plan was. But as my sticker used to say, prepare to improvise, which... this one is called by Jimbo Walsh, by the conductor, and it's called Everywhere is a Now. Yeah, sure, that sounds good. Hey, again, we implement, you know, if you've ever been just in here checking out the Jazz Museum, you may notice one of the features of its special features is improvisation, and over 100 years. In that style, it's the central part of the situation, you know. There's a lot of directions from which emotional response and emotion comes in music, and there's outward forms and there's what's behind it. And if I were just to give you a little bit of an insight, just since there's time and since some of my instrumentalists are having trouble getting here. Oh, we got a bass player. That's great. Let's give him a minute to get comfortable. You know, you might try a lot of time with music. It's what it is people are looking for something to happen at them and not looking for what goes on in them. And we've gotten used to that because the modes of dispensing music tend to be mediated, and so it's not surprising. But in general, you may wonder where things come from, and one of the ways that you might think about that is you think about the noise you might make when you have the shape of your face, what the musculature does when you're having an emotional experience, and what noise you might make if you were to suddenly utter a noise while your face was in any particular emotional shape. You might start to understand the kind of responses and the kinds of sounds and the kinds of noises that show up in music in relation to the plane conditioning. That would be what is coming from inside. And then the problem with this is that rather than looking for what is behind music these days, we look for, as though the phenomenology of what we're hearing from moment to moment is going to describe what is really going on for you, which it might not. But it might also help you understand why it is that we sound like this and not like Jelly Roll Morton if you were looking at the walls downstairs and all of that stuff. By the way, your physiology and your actual the way that your brain is wired changes from generation to generation depending on what sounds you've heard in the environment. And so you have no hope of knowing what music really sounded like to the people that you see playing on the walls. But you do have hope of responding to whatever noises you hear off the devices and off things that go on in your life. So they're very, very important if you're going to live a full life. This is the importance of music, and I'm giving you some philosophy because I don't have anything funny to say right now because my damn band is all over the place. Nonetheless, we'll persevere. We've done this since 1997, so you know we've been together longer than all them other big bands in town. Like all those other ones with all the funding and all the New Orleans nonsense, we've been here way before that. So, you know. Yeah. I'm going to tell you about this really quick here while the bass player gets music. This is called Bacchus Got Lost in the Blues, but couldn't shake his Greco-Roman identity. I'm going to leave you with that.
Sirach in the old days, I guess. Yeah.
No, couldn't get him that one. They didn't give you that one? Right.
It's just the blues.
It's just, okay. That's okay. We're going to do it anyway. It's going to go okay. Just sort of do vaguely what the bass sax does. Well, actually, yeah. Totally.
Let's see.
It starts in
Two choruses of once we get to the actual head, it's two choruses of a blues, and then like a four bar walk down where we do F7, E flat 7, D flat 7. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is a concert.
Let's go C, B flat, A flat, and F sharp. Okay.
Oh yes, sorry, I looked at the wrong part.
Now we're really talking about the nuts and bolts of music.
C, B flat, A flat, G flat.
You are lucky people. This is usually really the Oz business.
Ready, Dano? Here we go. Let's do it, baby.
Once we get done with the form, it's kind of every man for himself.
Absolutely.
I hear you, Doug.
We're going to do one now, another one by the conductor here, Jimbo Walsh, called Broken Light. Yeah. Thank you very much, Broken Light. So thank you all very much for sticking with us today. I really do appreciate that. I think we're going to try, I'm going to experiment here with one of the more complicated tunes, even though we don't have a regular band here. I'm a little worried about yeah, it should be funny. It is funny, you know. I mean, especially because, you know, the music is really high quality. It's coming out anyway, nonetheless, you know, which, even by my standards, so, you know. No, I'm just kidding. I tell you what, the only thing that worries me is our clarinet player also didn't show up, and the last time he didn't show up was about 12 years ago, and he got arrested on the way here. So I'm really hoping, like, I'm hoping that Cole is not, you know, in jail right now. This is another feature to this whole thing. This usually doesn't happen, by the way. If you come see the Naked Orchestra, by the way, it really is the most dependable organization in town. And I'll tell you why, because the other big band here that got famous, their band leader is under federal indictment and went to jail. I mean, you know. He got all the funding. I mean, I don't understand. He got all the funding. I wonder why. You know, I gave that to that guy. I don't know. You know, we're just sitting here doing music experiments, everything you'd want your musicians to be doing, and they got all the funding. Okay, so. They got and then they went to jail. Yeah, stole it from the library. I'm glad you know this story. I can't believe we're saying this live on mic. I'm going to be in trouble. It's okay. I never get anything out of anybody anyway, so it doesn't matter. What's that? These are facts. Yes, they're in the paper. Yeah, there they are in the paper. This is a song by Duke Ellington, and we're going to try it. We'll see how it goes. It has kind of a complicated intro with all this stuff. You might have to imagine one or two parts. However, we feel like once the engine starts, it is a very nice, popular way to end this up. I will say, you know, I don't have a problem with popular music. I just think that, as opposed to what I was saying earlier, I don't know if you were following that. I tried my best to lay it out there, but you know, we have another aspect by which we decide that we like music, which tends to be around successful personalities. But and it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's a human thing. Only it's a sub way of thinking about how emotions come to you. But we like popularity. We enjoy popular people. So that's another thing. And then there's a lot of people who you know, through the history of things, you know, we rally around those kind of people, much to our detriment. If we just did it the other way, which is worrying about our emotions in response to music, things would be a whole lot better, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. Don't rally around me. This is by one of the most popular musicians of all time in the history of at least popular music in the United States, the great writer Duke Ellington. He's not represented on the walls down around here, we found, but he should be, since a good deal of musicians in his band came from here, and a good deal of the information that he played with came from here. If you've been looking at Louis Armstrong, they were born the same year. They're the same age. Everyone thinks Duke Ellington is younger, and they're the same age. So that's an interesting feature to that story. He's worth looking into. This one is an unusual tune that he wrote called West Indian Pancake. There is something called a West Indian Pancake. He was a very international musician. We'll see if we can get through it. And if not, maybe we'll try again, because we have a few minutes, and you know, you're very patient. Maybe like you're people who really obviously like looking at, hopefully listening to music too. There we go.
2 bars. Ink, right? Ink. No extra Martin 8. Just on the ink.
No, on the ink.
He's not here.
Still the soprano solo?
No. You're going to take the solo. You take the first solo. That'd be you, Scarrett.
All
And
right.
then when your
Okay,
dance
look
starts
the other
flowing,
way.
stop.
Those instructions are clear and I understand them.
Yeah, you're the first
Good
solo.
response.
I think it handled it enough.
It says first solo.
It's the first solo.
Here we go.
Oh, stop that, Jimbo. That's way too
You said
fast.
2, and then you came
And Jimbo,
in.
that's way too fast.
Oh, did I?
Just slow it down a little bit.
Jump the gun.
Here we go. Thank you for coming out. Let me introduce the band really quick. That'd be Jeff Albert over there on the far side. Rex Gregory on the bass clarinet. John Culbreth really helping out tonight. He got us the bass player. Thank heavens for that. Doug Garris on the drums. Aurora Nealand on the soprano saxophone. That's Tim Sullivan on the tenor saxophone. Special guest Skerrick on the tenor saxophone. Yeah. Joe Cabral on the baritone saxophone. That was Dan Ostreicher tearing it up on the bass saxophone. Don't you have to do much, right? Yep. And listen, the hero of, also our conductor Jimbo Walsh here. I said Jeff Albert. Janice Sazzle on the flute. And every story needs a hero. What's your name? Yeah, Calvin. The bass. I don't know his name. This is how desperate the situation is. I'm going to thank him profusely. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for coming. Red Naked Orchestra.
And Jonathan Freilich.